We're too good at football. We're actually just too good at football. I'm in disbelief. No. It should be a crime to be this good at football. In fact, I'm awaiting lawsuits to be lobbied against PSG for being this good. What do you mean? 7-2. PSG beat and set a record for their biggest win away from home in Europe. 7-2. Not only why is it 7-2, but what an entertaining game. 2 red cards, missed penalties, bombasso goals. My team, no. 2025 PSG, I need to remember this. Because, at some point, what goes up must come down. I know at some point, we're not going to be able to stay at this level. I hope that we can maintain this level for as long as possible. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we do the double. We go back to back. But regardless of whatever happens, 2025 PSG will be remembered. 7-2 against Leverkusen. And granted, it's not Bayern, it's not one of the big dogs. But Leverkusen, this is a team that, yes, they had, the Dutch guy who shall not be named. But they were on, a good, cheeky little run. I think it was 7 or 8 games unbeaten, doing, decent in the Bundesliga. Yes, they lost a bunch of their players, but this is, this is a decent Leverkusen team. But this is PSG. This is the best team in the world you're talking about. And this is what I go and say. People said, oh, PSG, you're drawing this, you're drawing that. When PSG go and we decide, okay, that's cute. No, let's put not even our best team yet, but let's put a real lineup. Let's put a proper lineup. Let's put a lineup worthy of the Champions League. Look what happens. 7-2. 7-2. And at times we didn't even get out of first gear. I don't even know where to begin with this game. And upon further reflection, initially in my live stream, I was going and saying that I thought that this game for PSG, I thought that it was an 8 out of 10. And now upon further reflection, I think perhaps I'm being a bit harsh in that this definitely deserves higher than an 8, maybe an 8.5, but really close to a 9. And the reason why it wouldn't be like a perfect 10 out of 10 game is for obviously reasons that I'll get on to soon. But first and foremost, look at this. 7-2, 5 different goal scorers, Pacho getting the scoring off, Doué getting a brace, Kvara scoring, Mendes scoring, Dembele coming on scoring, Vitinha scoring. And the thing is, though, if you actually go and you look at the intrinsic stats, obviously PSG massively dominating in terms of momentum. This is has to be one of the most one-sided bits of momentum here. And obviously in the stats it'll go and show. But when you actually go and you look at it, PSG only got a slightly higher XG than Leverkusen. And the XG is only, if let's round it up, it's only 3. So you outperformed your XG by a staggering 4 goals. That is crazy efficiency. 24 shots, 8 shots on target, 4 big chances created, 1 big chance missed. And for your 4 big chances created, you scored 7 goals. For your 8 shots on target, you scored 7. Of your 8, let me say that again. Of your 8 shots on target, of the 8 shots on target PSG had, we scored 7. Let me hold on. Let me do the quick math here. That is a staggering 88% conversion rate for shots on target and you scoring. Voilà. This team, c'est une dinguerie. I think we need to start off early. We got the scoring off, obviously started off pretty early by Pacho, getting his goal in the 7th minute. And by that point, I'm thinking there, wow, we're going to be easy, smooth sailing. We looked really dominant. But then there was a period where, Leverkusen got back into the game. They started looking threatening. They had a couple chances. And then comes the penalty. The first penalty, that is. And I'm going to be honest, even still to this point, I don't think it's a pen. For one, I think there's a foul on 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝘼𝙎𝑍 to start off with. I think he's getting dragged back by I think it's 𝙬𝙬𝘾𝑝, and he's falling over. And then, yes, he does hit his hand, and his hand does touch the ball. But I think there's a foul in there. But okay, they go. I believe it's Grimaldo goes, takes the pen. 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝑝 dives the right way, hits off the post. We're okay. And I'm thinking, all right, we were really good. In fairness, for that 10-minute span, I did think that, Leverkusen were the better team. But it's okay. There's moments, spells in the game where the other team is going to have their moments. Fine. But then a long ball comes in. We clear it. They got a one header through. There's a bit of commotion between 𝙎𝙬𝘾 and Nuno Mendes. 𝙎𝙊𝘾 is not coming out, so on and so forth. 𝙎𝙊𝘾 needs to go and drag down. I think it's, what's his name here? I don't want to butcher it. He's Cameroonian as well. 𝙀𝙀𝘆𝘾𝘼𝙎. And it's a pen. And in fairness, that second one, even though 𝙀𝙀𝘆𝑃ℎ𝙀 does also have a huge, portion, has a huge tug, a huge piece of 𝙎𝙬𝘾's shirt, that's a pen. That's a pen. And it's not just a pen, it's a straight red at that. And honestly, on that, there's no way, there's no room in the world where I can go and say, no, I disagree. Clear straight penalty, no discussions there. 𝙎𝙬𝘾, what are you doing? And that, honestly, for me, is what potentially drags down this game. The fact that you conceded 2 penalties, and then that's not even to mention, obviously, the red card that they got from the 𝙎𝙬𝘾𝘼𝙎 getting elbowed in the face. I don't know how people go and see that and say that's not a pen. I don't want Andres just going and doing their clear red card. But going back onto the 𝙎𝙬𝘾 red card, allowing for 2 penalties in the span of what? I think they got their first in like the 20th minute, within the span of like 10 minutes. Getting 2 penalties, being at the cause of both of them, getting expelled, getting a straight red, disastrous. And for me, that's the only thing, that's the biggest blemish on that. That's the 37th minute red card for 𝙎𝙬𝘾. I think potentially could have put our game at the whack. And I think even though, despite we went on to score 7, I think does put a bit of a blemish on the game. I probably still would say now, probably 8.5, potentially 9. But that one thing, if we'd remove that, I think it'd be a perfect 10 out of 10. And even though, of course, we did concede another goal afterwards, in fairness, I'll go and say 𝙎𝙨 scored both goals, in fact. That second goal is absolutely insane. Sometimes, in football, there are goals. Luckily, obviously, at the time, PSG was still winning, so I was like a lot more okay. But like that goal, yes, you could go and say that, maybe we should have, had a better press on. Somebody should have closed, 𝙎𝙨 down a bit better, so on and so forth. But the guy goes from like 25 yards out, laces a bombazo into the top bins. I have not seen a more top bins goal since arguably the goal that Declan Rice scored. A generational finish. Generational finish. All I could say to that is, fair play, game, respects game. I wasn't even mad. I can't, 𝙎𝙬𝘾, what do you want 𝙎𝙬𝘾 to do there? What do you want 𝙎𝙬𝘾 to do there? I died for it. It's literally perfect. But anyways, apart from that, I thought PSG were good overall. 𝙬𝙬 coming on in a single half of football, comes back in his second game back, gets a goal, gets 2 goals, comes off at halftime. 𝙬𝙬 gets his goal. I'm thinking of 𝙬𝙬, that 𝙬𝙬 celebration was crazy. What was it? Generational celebration. 𝙬𝙬 gets his goal. Mendes goes and gets his goal after a great individual run by Vitinha. Dembele comes on within 5 minutes. Dembele's first game as a PSG player, as a Ballon d'Or winner, and within 5 minutes has a goal. Vitinha goes and scores late on in the 90th minute to round it all up. Great performance from the team. 𝙭𝙗𝑙𝑎, shout out to 𝙭𝙗𝑙𝑎 with an assist on that goal, was absolutely excellent today, even though he didn't get his goal and probably would have wanted to go and do so, was excellent today. But overall, the team performance today was just absolutely immaculate. From everybody here, as I said previously, I don't think there's anybody here who had a poor game by any means, bar, 𝙎𝙬𝘾. I thought 𝙎𝙬𝘾, there's not much he can do there. I mean, yes, he, conceded twice. The first goal he concedes is a pen. And in both pens that he, faced, he dove the right way. You could argue maybe on the second pen that where, he concedes, if he's a bit taller, that he probably saves it. Like, you could say if that's Donnarumma diving there, he probably gets a hand to it. But, you can't blame him for his, his anatomy. 𝙀𝙀𝘾 was good today. Got an assist. Pacho scoring a goal. First goal for PSG colors. Pachito. You also had Nuno Mendes as well. Going, getting another goal and another assist. Getting here on FUTMOB Man of the Match performance. That's what now. A goal and an assist in this game. He got an assist in the previous game, scored a goal in the first game. He's scored 4 GA in 3 games in the Champions League as a fullback. Like, not only is Mendes like the best fullback, best left back in the world, hands down, he is legitimately in a conversation for being the best player in the world. Even though this guy is not, a striker, this guy is getting GA at a rate that elite wingers would be very proud of. Going on into the midfield, then Seny Mayulu today, excellent today. He hit the woodwork. He nearly could have scored. I thought it was excellent. It was very proper in his touches. The thing is, Mayulu, he's not some flashy player. He's not some player who's going to go and do 1,000 step overs. He's not some dribbling masterclass. Well, he won't offer you dribbling masterclasses. But he reminds me a lot of Thomas Muller His touches are proper. He's bipedal. He can shoot with his left, with his right. He can switch the play. He's good at wriggling himself out of tight situations and whatnot. He's excellent. Warren Zaire-Emery, big shout out to Warren. I think this 7.0 for him is absolutely criminal. I thought Warren was excellent today, and I'm seeing flashbacks to prime 2023, 2024 Warren. Warren today was absolutely excellent. Nothing more I can say about him. Was excellent in the duels. Had generational elite ball progression. Brilliant performance from Warren. For me, 8.0 out of 10. One of our best players today. And Vitinha. I mean, even though I will go and say, I thought Vitinha, bar the assist and the goal, had for him, by his standards, a relatively quiet game. And this is still a game where he gets a goal and gets an assist. It just goes to show you just how good the rest of the team was, and the sort of the levels, the minimum standard I've expected of Vitinha recently. He was still excellent here today. You go and you look. Kvara gets a goal, gets an assist, comes off in the 60th minute. Great performance from him. 𝙀𝙬, obviously, as saying, second game back, gets 2 goals. Especially at a moment where I think he gets her second goal. When did he score his second goal? He scored in the 41st minute. 4 minutes? Yeah, couple minutes after we conceded the equalizer. Comes on, gets that. 8.6 out of 10. 8.6 Robin rating. 𝙀𝙾𝘼𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙏, again, same rating as him. Completed the most dribbles for us today. 3 dribbles. It was absolutely excellent. Was good. The run he made for the Dembele goal to set that up. The pace that he showed to go and get in front of his defender, who had legitimately a 2 meters head start on him. 𝙀𝙾𝘼𝘾, what a player, man. 𝙀𝙾𝘼, all we need. A 𝙀𝙾𝘼 confident is a top 3 wingers in the world, bar none. Bar none. What a player 𝙀𝙾𝘼 is. And then obviously, everybody came on afterwards. For me, Dembele. Yeah, Dembele. I think Dembele is going to be a demon this year. Dembele is going to be mean this year. Dembele is on a tear. This guy comes on, first game back from injury. A lengthy injury, 6 to 8 weeks it was. This guy hasn't played football for 2 months nearly. Comes on, 5 minutes in, 1-0. This guy is a killer. I think Dembele, this whole thing of he comes out dribbles, I think we will still see that version of Dembele when the need arises, right? If he, gets put on the wing, or if Gonzalo Ramos, whatever it may be, we will still see that. You can't lose those qualities. But this new Dembele, that is he hunts goals. He hunts goals like a lion hunts a gazelle. He's mean. He's angry. He wants to score. Méchant Dembele. Dembele, never satisfied. Kobe mentality, Mamba mentality, Dembele. What a player. Dembele. 5 minutes in, 1-0 already. And it's a proper, people go and say, it's a tap in. First and foremost, I think this thing of going and playing this the false offside, where he purposely goes and is offside initially to then come back and be in a position where, because he's so far ahead, and when the ball is played eventually, he's in an onside position. I know it's not novel. It's not anything. Harry Kane's been doing this. Other strikers in the past were doing this. Van Nistelrooy, so on, back in the days. But seeing it as often, week in, week out, Dembele, when he's doing it, it's just, it goes to like mentally and tactically, he's evolved so much. I'm not sure a 24-year-old Dembele has the presence of mind to be doing stuff like that. But yeah, Dembele, brilliant performance. Overall, the team, brilliant performance. We were good. Defensively, didn't really suffer too much. If I go and I look overall, they had 6 shots, 3 shots on target. In fairness, they did have 3 big chances created, but I think 2 of those is the penalty, and then outside that, 1 more. So bar obviously the lapses in defense from the 2 penalties that we conceded, which are absolutely daft and need to be corrected. There's not much more you can say from PSG here today. And I think this really goes to show once again, where people go and say, oh, you guys are strong to Strasbourg, this and the other. Look now. There's the only players here that, played in that Strasbourg game. You got 𝙀𝙀, you got 𝙀𝙾𝘼𝘾, Mayulu, Warren. And I believe that is it. I think maybe Zabarny. And obviously 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝑍. But most of the rest of the lineup was not there. And so when PSG, and this isn't even PSG's strongest lineup. They're still missing João Neves, they're still missing Fabian Ruiz, and obviously the Ballon d'Or Ousmane Dembélé. There you go. So imagine all those players are in. You imagine Fabian's in there. You imagine João Neves is in there. Dembélé is there instead. This team is unstoppable. This team is unstoppable. And we'll see. We got Bayern next in the Champions League. It was a good game today. We'll go and see. Bayern, I would go and say, probably currently on form, the best team in the world. 11 for 11. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see tomorrow. They play, I believe, I don't know. I can't remember who they play, but we'll go and see. We'll test them. I think it's in a week's time. But we'll be ready. We'll be ready at the park. Got a few things to settle with them. Obviously beat them last time around in the Club World Cup. But hey, it's a new game. It's a new game. We'll be ready. Thank you guys very much for joining and tuning into the video. Thank you guys to all those people who were there on the live stream. And it's been a pleasure as always. And remember, stay safe, stay kind, and stay blessed. Godspeed.